Howdy, everybody.
Greetings.
Greetings, howdy. We were just doing an impromptu live. I'm not even expecting too many people even to come on here, but basically, we're just on here to just say like censorship is real,
Yeah, and if you're a follower of us and you've left comments for us,
and we haven't responded.
our comments are being deleted,
Mm-hmm.
and so please don't feel as
What's
if.
good, Lewis? That's Lewis.
Hey, Lewis, how you doing, brother?
How's Santana's hair?
That's when I need a haircut, Lewis. So if you guys have left a comment and I have not responded back to your comment, um, I want to let you know that we haven't been getting comments and they've been erasing all of our comments. So if you can post them again.
Yeah, we just found a bunch of comments when we go to the YouTube studio.
Yeah,
so it's not posting it looking great.
Thank you, Lewis.
Thank you, Lewis.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so try to repost your comments. You can also email us your comments or questions, and we'll do a day where we kind of go over the things that you guys have questions about.
Yes.
Because YouTube is suppressing even your comments.
Yeah,
you commenting on our videos, they're not letting us get it. The only way that the public can't, they won't allow the public to see what you're saying to us.
It's crazy.
Everything is just coming through our studio.
Yeah, so they don't even want you even to leave comments or communicate with us. And before I forget, if you have not seen the documentary on Rumble, it's called Died Suddenly. Watch that documentary and send it to. Oh, okay. Watch that documentary and send it to every single human being that you know. It's called Died Suddenly. Watch that documentary if you haven't seen it. So,
and the real Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, we were thinking about putting up together a presentation. In the middle of that, we realized that we haven't been doing a whole lot of interaction with you folks, and just kind of kicking it with you. So we wanted to just get on for a little while to converse directly with you guys and listen to your comments, because they've taken they won't let us receive comments, which is more of the fuckery. We figured, you know what, let us talk to the folks who watch us, who follow us, and we'll talk directly to you, and we'll take your comments now and we'll respond to some things that you might want to talk about. So it's kind of here's an open forum for you to, if there's something you want to discuss or something you have a question about that we can get into, we'd be happy to do so. So we kind of leave this open for you guys if you have something that you want to discuss or bring up.
Yeah, we don't have anything particular to talk about. Oh, but our last couple of videos were about Tucker Carlson being fired. Well, it comes out today that Tucker Carlson is not technically fired. Nope. He's still there. Yeah, I can't see a comment section. Weird. Exactly. Like, listen.
We're shadow banned.
Yeah.
Our comments get deleted.
Yeah.
We don't get emails. The emails we sent out most of the time don't get to the appropriate destination.
Mm-mm.
They stole our money, and listen, they just been beating us up.
You can go look through our videos and see all the shit that they're doing.
Okay, here you
but
go.
I'll look it up. You can go ahead. I'm gonna look in the comments, guys, while Santana does his thing.
No, that's my question.
Yes, I'm saying I'm about to look it up on here.
Okay, so we're gonna look at your questions and so forth because we want to go ahead and
yeah, but you can get into Tucker Carlson's actually not fired.
Gotcha. So Tucker Carlson was not fired. What they did was they basically just took off his show. They took off his show and kept him on the payroll. So what they've essentially done is they pretty much just silenced him.
So he can't talk about it.
So he can't talk to, so There was a young lady, I won't say her name unless she gives me permission to say her name, that made a suggestion that Tucker Carlson connect with Elon Musk, since Elon Musk has such a huge platform in his Twitter, and the Twitter folks love Tucker Carlson. It would be a great combination. But because he's still technically a Fox employee, um, he can't go out and do other shows. It's crazy. Like he can't go and like make his own show right now because he's still
Under contract.
and it's like he has like
Yeah.
a non-compete. So he's still getting paid lots and lots of money. So literally, they're just paying him just to make sure they keep him silent and keep him on the payroll. And of course, they're going to keep him on the payroll until after the election, at which time they're going to fire him. And another interesting thing that a lot of people don't know, and it got absolutely no media attention anywhere. The CIA was bugging Tucker Carlson this past summer. The CIA, they found communication with the CIA where they had tapped his phones and tapped his computer and was listening into his personal and private conversation. And of course, all that's illegal. But they've been targeting him for a little while, literally. And the CIA portion, no one's even talking about it. And it may have freaked him out because he's never even talked about it on his show, to my knowledge. But he was the last kind of he was the last he was the last person on mainstream media who actually questioned the war, the vaccine.
He questioned anything. He questioned the concerns that the public are having. So wait a minute, let me go to you guys' comments. So J God, they've done that to a lot of people. I'll go to a video and I don't see how many comments there are. You have to click on the video to see them. It's quite ridiculous. Then again, it's YouTube. Absolutely. We have videos that show no comments, but you click on the comments and then everything is there. But it's a step further even with us because you can click on the comments, but all of the comments aren't there. The only way we see all of the comments that are being put on is if I see it in the YouTube studio.
Yeah, like we found like 20 or 30 comments.
Yeah, people kept saying that they kept reaching out to us and we're like, we didn't get anything. Yeah. And we're finding them now. You guys all know by the great quality of our videos that we're very, very not computer savvy. So, we're just realizing that a lot of things were in the studio. It says, you see the guy they replaced him with, his name sounds like Killamede. Sounds like Kilmeade.
Yeah, I know who he is.
When he said his name, Lexi Abbey, I can see comments, but I haven't gotten any notification of your videos of Tucker or if you did other videos. Let's see, TY, I seen a video of Tucker fishing, but the guy who was there filming was a straight gang stalker. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of people are saying that they're not getting notifications about our videos, about when we're going live. So honestly, I'm sorry. I mean, you know what? Maybe I will post in the community prior to us going live to see if you guys get that. Other than that, I really don't know, and I just hope you guys catch it later. It's we want to engage with you guys if you do have questions, but that and in fact that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to post this live in my community to see if maybe other people can get some notifications, because this whole thing is rigged. So
now forgive me for telling you something you may already know, but we're in the war in Ukraine. It's a proxy war, of course, between America and Russia. And why are we in Ukraine? And why did Putin invade Ukraine? This was a provoked war and it was provoked by America, of course. America is provoking wars all over the world. America is provoking a war in Syria. They're trying to provoke Taiwan, and they provoke Putin. But for those who may not know, the reason why Putin went into Ukraine is because once Ukraine became a NATO ally in a NATO country, NATO has insisted on bringing its military to Ukraine. I'm sorry, to Ukraine. So literally, Putin has been saying since the 70s that you cannot have any weapons near the Soviet Union, aka Russia. For my historians in the room, there was a president by the name of James Monroe, what's his name? Well, he created a particular piece of, well, he created something called the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine took place after World War II. And it was basically a promise to the world that because America was going to be number one, that no country from the East can place its military on the West. It's off limits, meaning that that means that Russia couldn't put its military along the Texas border next to America. And that's part of the Monroe Doctrine.
Okay.
So what NATO did and what America did in the Ukraine is they literally tried to put thousands of troops right on the border from to Russia and from Russia to Ukraine. So literally, Putin said, absolutely not. You cannot put a military right on the Russian border. And then the Ukrainians did so because they're corrupt, very corrupt government, because they're connected to our corrupt government. So Russia had to go in and take care of some things. Russia isn't the bad guy in this situation. Russia is actually trying to make peace. China is trying to make peace. Something that you guys might not know. The Ukraine was trying to had a plan to bomb Moscow. They was trying to destroy the Kremlin a couple months ago. They had planned to bomb the Kremlin. You understand? Zelensky had a plan, the president of the Ukraine.
And he said nothing. And I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but like the rest of the world is literally like holding rallies to like have world peace. Like everybody wants
for world
peace.
Including China. And the Americans keep on pushing war. We are a war machine. But Zelensky was planning on bombing Moscow the first year anniversary of this whole war. Like, they're not telling you this, that Ukraine is more corrupt than America is, because they're the lackey, the dogs that are just, not the people. The government is very corrupt, and they're being paid large sums of money to do what the Pentagon tells them to do. So that's the reason why we're in the Ukraine. And when America was talking to China and Russia, China and Russia said, well, the Monroe Doctrine, we respect the Monroe Doctrine, and we're not putting troops that would endanger America or close to America's borders. And we're asking you for reciprocity and to give us the same respect and to not have troops, American troops, along our borders, which I think is a reasonable request. But America keeps saying, well, hey, we're America, we do what we want, because we want war. We love war.
We love blood.
We are feeding the military industrial complex. So we need to keep these wars going. So we're going to do it because we want the war. So they're making it seem like the Ukrainians are the good guys when they are absolutely not the good guys. They provoked another superpower, and America at the behest of that zombie Joe Biden.
He is a zombie.
You know, so it's not what they're saying, and the media isn't telling you the truth. But everyone knows that.
So we got a couple of comments. So it says, Amy Boyd, Tucker did a few interviews where it sounded like he knew something was coming, calling out a lot. Absolutely. I like Tucker. Boyd. I like Tucker Carlson because there is no one else in mainstream media who will question anything or even bring any concerns to light. Everybody is in for it for themselves.
They don't care
we,
about anything. They
yeah,
just want to get. They only care about money.
yeah. So we know that there's an agenda behind everybody. There's an agenda behind Tucker Carlson, Trump, RFK Jr., Biden. Everyone has an agenda. We all have to understand that. But at this point, we kind of gotta just focus on what people are saying and the things that matter to us.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where I am with that. Um, let's see. All One Essence. Did you guys see the Bill Gates video from 2005? Yes.
Yes, the Pentagon. Are you
Yes.
talking about the one where he's talking about the fun vax?
Yeah, we've actually played that video so many times
You
because
can find it on our Rumble channel.
yeah,
What's our Rumble channel name?
Can You Dig It 1111?
If you go to Can You Dig It 1111, we have over 150 videos.
And we've played
on
that
Rumble.
clip so many times to
Yeah.
let people see just how diabolical that entity is. Let's see. TY, there is bioweapons being made right now on the border in Ukraine too.
Yes. Russia, matter of fact, at the start of the war, Russia destroyed a whole bunch of the biolabs in the beginning of the war.
Mm-hmm.
And the what's this woman's name? She's this particular person who works for the states who said that she was worried about Russia getting control of the biological weapons that they're producing in Ukraine. So
I don't
yes.
know her name. I'm sorry, I can't help
Yeah,
you.
she's an official. I forgot her name. She's a very. She looks like her name should be mundane. When you see her face, she's like a real life version of Meg.
Oh
from
my God,
Family
a
Guy.
true Meg.
She's
Shout
like
out,
Meg
Lawrence.
from the Family Guy.
Okay, let's see. All One Essence. I know Putin doesn't want to hurt people.
He doesn't.
In the Illuminati cards, if you guys are into that, which, listen, I don't think that you should be in or out of it. Like, I feel like you should just be trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And you should look everywhere.
Yeah.
But give those cards a look. I'll see. I have a link somewhere with all of the cards on a website. So you don't have to go and purchase them because they are quite expensive. But there is a card that is talking about Russia and is saying that basically like Russia is the good guys in the end, and they're kind of going to fix all of this mess. So,
and if you guys are familiar with
let me see if I can pull it up. Go ahead.
If you guys are familiar with Edgar Casey, he was known as the Sleeping Prophet. He was pretty amazing. He did one particular reading, and as a matter of fact, in his book, something he put in his book, he said, we have a great threat coming to the world, and thank God for Russia. So Edgar Casey apparently already saw this, and he said, some 60 years ago, thank God for Russia.
So the Illuminati card says Russia has a +4 direct control of any communist party and gives a +2 for any attempt to control or destroy a communist group. However, any communist group gets +4 points for direct control of Russia. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but Russia has been talking to China directly,
India,
and all of that kind of stuff. So check these cards out because they are not just a game. Like, well, it is a game because this is a game.
They're playing a game of our lives. They're playing games with, this is a big game to the elites.
You can just Google it. You don't have to buy them.
Yeah,
we actually bought them, and then my son tore them all up, so
Yeah,
I can't show you
the real
cards.
You can go and you can pull them up and just print them off on regular paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have did that.
We should have did that. Okay, so let's see. TY, if you believe in flat Earth, I heard that we have trade with outside entities that gives us things like computer chips and all this technology. So let me just say this. Now, I'm going to speak for me, and then I'll let Santana speak in regards to the flat and round Earth. I am just going out here and just saying that no one knows what shape this thing is. But what we do know is everything that NASA has told us is a lie. So, in regards to a shape, I mean, I have to imagine that it's in an imperfect shape, whatever it is. But I can tell you that whatever NASA is telling you it is not. So
So
that's what I can tell you.
and and um and the world is exactly what you see it.
Yes.
So if you see a hole, it's a hole. If you see a mountain, then it's a mountain. If you see a flat ground, it's flat. We're definitely living on a flat plane when it's flat.
Right.
We are definitely not
On
on
the
a
like
ball.
the inside, like as you know, some people say like we're on the inside of the egg. You know,
Whatever
I
we
don't know if it's even the
this is
shape of an egg. I'm just telling you that
try
every
whatever you see is what it is.
yeah, exactly.
What you see is as simple as
Exactly.
that. What you see is what it is. Um, and and I'm a little oh gosh, I hate talking like this, but um,
You
I
about to
deal
sound woke.
not even woke, but I hate talking scientific.
Ah,
I'm in eye care and I create a particular technology um, that involves vision and involves sight. And the definition of vision is your mind's interpretation to light. So light behaves a particular way. And I have patents on this particular technology that involve vision. And my patents would not work if we were spinning on a ball. We're not spinning. We're on no damn ball. Light doesn't
mm-mm.
work like that.
No.
And as far as the technology about, let me tell you what I believe very strongly. All the technology that you think is new is old technology,
Mm-hmm.
and what we're watching is a destruction of the world. And they keep on. You notice how these situations and these conflicts go places and and they destroy as much of it as they can, and they slowly hand out piece by piece to different people at different times. If I had to guess where the pieces are coming from, the obvious thing I would say would be Antarctica. I think that it's a civilization there, and this is just my opinion. There's a civilization there that's mainly untouched with technology that we can't even conceive. And whenever something needs to be done, we talk to the inhabitants of Antarctica, the people who are making decisions for us. And in exchange for an iPhone, you got to go to war for it. We detected a pattern, a 13-year pattern, that after 13 years after a major public um, loss of life, like 9/11, Pearl Harbor, um, Kennedy's assassination, 13 years after those dates, the place, the specific place where the murder took place, gets rewarded with something. And I believe that in order to get your rewards, well, of course, they have to murder someone or a group of people in order to receive their these particular gifts and so forth. It's my belief that once they do their sacrifice, these technologies are given to the people who
Mm-hmm.
perform the sacrifices. You'll
It has
notice that
something to do with blood.
it's definitely blood. It's a
Yeah.
definitely a blood sacrifice. But I don't believe that, me personally, I don't believe that nothing's coming from the sky. They're talking about extraterrestrial. Well, extraterrestrial can
Just
be
something
extra
that's
land.
not from
Yeah,
wherever
just
you are.
extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
And I think that I specifically think Antarctica has technologies that we haven't seen. And when um, someone does a great enough sacrifice, they get to receive this new piece of technology. And the people, and here's the funny thing, you notice the people who keep getting the technology are places like China and America, and they do the most killing. You know, China and America is where you get all these killings. The Chinese are killing people. And listen, I got to even rethink what they're saying about the Chinese now, because America demonizes anybody that doesn't follow their policy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we're looking at the world stage and see China's going all over the entire world. Literally, China called the president of Israel, I'm sorry, the prime minister of Israel and the president of Palestine like a month ago, and is even trying to get the Palestinians and the Israelis to stop fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like China's trying to stop world
Stop
war.
war.
He's trying to stop all the wars and conflicts. So I have to do some further digging into what's going on in China because they may very well be lying to us about China, because they lie about every goddamn
Well,
thing.
you gotta know that it's something up, because I think that Montana has been like the first state here. Well, I'm not there, but the first state in the United States that has banned TikTok. Like, because TikTok is letting you guys know so much things, because it's people from all over the world posting things, so they're telling you what's happening right outside of their door. Well, why suppress? You have to worry about entities that want to prevent you from knowing something, because
And
that it's,
they're going to charge you.
You know,
they're going to make they're making it a crime
burning
if you go on
books.
TikTok.
Burning books is illegal, right? Burning books has been a thing that is illegal, and to me, I feel like banning TikToks is equivalent to burning books.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's
seriously, yeah, it's information. So you have to wonder, and you have to really think about people who have a law against burning books, knowledge, who censorship platforms that give you information that they don't agree with. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, you're right.
You know? So
that's a good analogy. And also this thing going on in Taiwan, they're trying to do the exact same thing in Ukraine and Taiwan. They're arming the Taiwanese government to the teeth.
Yeah.
And they're putting military bases all.
And this is to prevent war.
Yeah, they put America's putting military bases all over Taiwan, and unfortunately, the American public don't even realize. If you don't realize this, it's the first time you're hearing it. Taiwan has always been a part of China. It's like it's always been a Chinese territory. Always. It's like Puerto Rico is a part of America. Hawaii is a part of America. Taiwan has always been a part of China. So for America to want to go to war with China because of their relations with Taiwan makes no sense.
No sense.
But the exact same thing, the Americans are putting military bases all over Taiwan, which is China's territory. So we are provoking war everywhere in the world. We're not the good guys.
Yeah. And let's see this. Lexi Abbey.
Hey, Lexi Abbey.
Fall of Towers on back of money up to 2017, $5 through $100.
Yeah, we saw that. The guy showed us that. The guy who was doing the money, the big reveal.
I know. What's his name?
There's a video. I know. There's a video. We can try to find a video. This guy does. He shows a breakdown of all the things. It shows towers falling. It also shows a bomb blowing up in New York City being flooded. There's a guy who does a series on decoding all the money. That is, yes.
I'll find out his name. Let's see here.
That's a great name, Lexi Abbey.
Roy Fields? Is that doesn't ring a bell.
I think Roy does sound familiar.
Is that right?
Roy may be right, but I think.
Listen, I'll take your word for it.
Fields, though.
Let's see. Lewis Russell. Sea floor, sea level, all means flat.
Right.
Listen, I don't deny any of those things. All I know, this is what I know for a fact. NASA has lied about everything that they have given us about where we live, where they've gone, all of those things. So I don't trust anything that they say. So, and I know that just my daily life, I know that I can feel an earthquake. I've been in an earthquake. I can feel the earth shaking.
Right.
We should feel us spinning 1,000 miles per hour. We should feel something.
When you're dizzy, you feel like you're spinning.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
if you're interested, look up, pull up any military plane that the Army has built. And like I say, I always go to patents.
No, it's Jonathan something.
Yeah, it was Jonathan. It's Jonathan.
It's Jonathan.
Jonathan
something.
Klecker? Or Jonathan
Kleck? Jonathan Kleck. That's it.
Jonathan Kleck.
But she's saying she learned it from Roy Field. So it's
Check out this guy.
But I'm sure it's a bunch of people that figured that stuff out.
There's a guy named Jonathan Kleck who does amazing work.
Yeah.
But I'm very heavy into patents. So if you go and pull up 3 or 4 of the planes, like the stealth, different army planes, and look at the patents. And all other patents say, without exception, this technology works on a non-moving flat Earth. The
Yeah.
patents tell you specifically, look at the Army patents, and everything dealing with flight always says non-moving flat Earth. So we're definitely not moving, and we're definitely, for use of better words, we're flat until you see a hill. But we're definitely not a damn ball, and we're definitely not spinning. Light doesn't work like that.
Listen, I believe that we are definitely stationary. You know why? Because I believe that this is Dante's Inferno. I really believe that this is hell.
Yeah, well,
I really believe it. I really, really believe it.
There's definitely a firmament. There's definitely something holding us in. They call it, the science calls it the Van Allen belt. But
they can't go past it, right?
Right, but the moon is outside of Van Allen belt, but somehow they managed to get to that in an aluminum 410. Gosh, it's disgusting.
I will give credit to Bro Sanchez though for that, because he has humiliated NASA in those regards. I mean, like, really humiliated. Just
Dave Weiss. Dave Weiss does a fantastic job on flat
Yeah,
Earth.
he's another one for sure.
He has amazing graphics.
Yeah,
and Dave Weiss simplifies the flat Earth very well. Very well.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Does anybody, when I talk about, do me a favor, when I mention Benjamin Crump, do you guys know who he is? Put a 1 up if you guys know who Benjamin Crump is. Just my own little poll.
The word airplane says it on the plane in the air. Absolutely. Exactly.
We're on a plane net.
Yeah, and you know, let's work on a even playing field. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're
definitely, it's definitely flat.
Yeah.
Until you see a mountain.
Listen, it's definitely not whatever the fuck they say.
It's definitely not a spinning ball. We know that. Matter of fact,
they're definitely lying. Like the movie, what was it called? Capricorn 1?
Oh yeah.
Or something
like that. Let me tell you
a
great movie to watch.
Yeah.
It's called
Was it called Capricorn 1 or something like that? O.J. Simpson was in it.
It's a movie called Capricorn 1. It is a great movie. And it's made back in the 70s. And it's not even corny. You know how the movie's corny? It was about 3 astronauts who were supposed to go to Mars. And because NASA realized they couldn't go to Mars, they decided to fake.
Yeah, Capricorn 1.
Watch that movie,
y'all. Capricorn 1.
Great catch.
The juice is in it.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. But it's about, I'm not gonna tell you the whole thing because I want you to watch it because it's actually worth watching. It's about 3 astronauts who were going to the moon, and going to Mars. And the process of going to Mars, they pulled the guys out of the shuttle really quick and took them somewhere else and let them know, hey man, we can't go to Mars, so we're gonna have to fake it.
All this is bullshit.
We've been lying. We're lying.
This is Hollywood.
Yeah, we're stealing taxpayers'
money. Red Hot Chili Peppers told y'all.
Yeah, they did. So NASA. So they told the 3 astronauts that if they don't go along with it, they're gonna kill them all. So the astronauts had to go along with this lie. I'm not gonna get too much more into the plot with you because I want you to enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
But it's called Capricorn 1. O.J. Simpson's in it. It's a really good movie, and it's a true story. And for those who remember the Challenger explosion back in, I think like 86, whatever year it was, the astronauts, they had a teacher on that. Do you guys know all that was fake? And they found the people who are living right now who was actually on the Challenger, and their excuse and what they're saying is they're basically saying that, oh no, that's not the people. They had twins. So they're saying the 2 people who was supposed to have been dead who was on the Challenger, even that teacher
I'm gonna play the clip
who
for
are still
him.
alive. Perfect.
Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Watch this. This is hilarious. Get ready to laugh. Let me make sure my volume is up. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry.
Professor at Harvard Law School. Some people were a little taken aback by the identical name, age, and likeness, so they started digging. This is Michael J. Smith, also an engineer and pilot aboard the Challenger shuttle, who passed away that fateful day in 1986 at the age of 39 years old. This is Dr. Michael J. Smith, professor of engineering at the University of Wisconsin. This is Sharon Krista McAuliffe, arguably one of the most famous things about the Challenger mission. She was supposedly just a teacher that was picked at random to be one of the astronauts, which made it all the more tragic when she passed away due to the Challenger disaster in 1986. This is Sharon A. McAuliffe, also a law professor who received her degree shortly after the Challenger disaster. Dick Scobie was the commander of the mission. Here's Commander Dick Scobie next to Richard Scobie, the CEO of Cows and Trees. Here's his company's original logo. It's a cow, but it's not in a tree. It's strapped to a rocket, and gee, that jet stream kind of looks familiar. In fact, just in case I wasn't making it clear, the top picture is the Challenger ship shortly after exploding. So, Astronauts Ronald McNair and Ellison Onizuka both passed away when the Challenger shuttle exploded. Miraculously, it was found out that they both had twin brothers, Carl McNair and Claude Onizuka. But ancestry searches were done for both Carl and Claude, and there was no birth records found. And the odds of two sets of identical twins in a crew of 7 are astronomical. But that's just a theory. Rest in peace to the crew of the Challenger space shuttle mission.
Yeah, rest in peace.
For the launch, the shuttle exploded and all set.
Yeah, so they've lied about everything.
Right.
Do you know how hard it is, to know, man? I don't know what you guys know, but I used to think I knew a lot, and I've had to start over the past 7 years.
Yeah.
Because everything they taught us was a lie.
Yes.
Everything was a lie, and it's like everything was and is a lie, and it's hard to wrap your mind around that, and most people don't even want to believe it. But everything's a lie. None of that happened. It was all fake. Watch that movie Capricorn 1. Good movie. And like I said, if you haven't seen the movie Died Suddenly, it's on Rumble. Watch the movie Died Suddenly. It's
and the
very
real
important.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, because that one goes really deep into how long this has been going. So, it was somebody who said they need to go to Rumble. Yeah, you need to go to Rumble just because if you want to...
You can say vaccine on Rumble. You can say things on Rumble. No, don't get me wrong. Rumble is a piece of shit, too. They're connected, but you're allowed to speak freely on Rumble. But they're pieces of shit.
Controlled opposition.
Right. They're both run by the same company. They, it's the left hand and the right hand.
Yeah.
They just basically, and Rumble, really, all these platforms are just situations to allow people, for the government to monitor who's saying what and who's serious about X, Y, and Z.
Rumble is exactly what YouTube was when it first started. Remember when YouTube first started, people were getting decapitated. You could say anything on YouTube. You could watch whole Disney movies on YouTube. Yeah. When it was all young. So it's just in its infantile state. So they allow but so much.
It's on Rumble.
Go on Rumble.
It's not. It was on YouTube for a little while, but they're taking everything off of YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to remember to put the links in the description after this video. I'll put them in the description, and you can click it, and then it'll take you straight to Rumble. I don't even think you have to have a Rumble account to look at a video.
You only have to have. If you want to comment, you have to get an account, and
But you should get on Rumble just because it's so much content on there that you can't get on YouTube.
Yeah, we do a lot of, and for us, we have more than 150 videos.
Yeah.
And we do a whole bunch of the codes.
More of our stuff is on Rumble, and we don't endorse anything. We don't get paid for any of this stuff. Yeah. I don't even love telling people to go to another platform, but I will tell you that if you are looking for more answers or trying to reason the ridiculous life that we're living through right now, you should go to Rumble. You'll get some answers.
Yeah, and we do a whole bunch of the artwork and we got about 20 different videos on there where we show you the different murders and the correlations to how they like we show
Yeah.
we perfect example. Okay, so on May the 13th of last year, I did a video called Dubai's Upcoming 911, at which time I explained that in 2029, the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world in Dubai, is going to get hit by a plane. Um, now, um, 3 hours after I did that video, the president of Dubai dies. So, on these videos we do, um, they're being watched by people, and I break down the dates that certain things are going to happen based on the art, number one, but also number two. Um, I found an algorithm on um, how places are rewarded for death and blood loss. So I go through a lot of history on why certain events happened and what particular region or person was rewarded because of the death. Also, there's another pattern that we found with the number 62. And we found that before they plan on killing people, before they make their sacrifices, because the sacrifices are very real, I'm sorry, the real genius, Tesla. Tesla said that to understand the universe, you have to understand energy, magnetism. So energy can't be created or destroyed. It's what we have. So this system is fully aware that in order to have something, something has to be taken from somewhere else. And in terms of life, blood sacrifice is the greatest sacrifice that they can provide. So when they make a decision that they're going to kill people, they use them. They use the number 62, and they mark them with the number 62. If you're not familiar with all of our content, go to rumble.com. Our page is Can You Dig It 1111, and I do a very very thorough breakdown. And if you're going to start watching them, start watching the video. It's called the Kardashian number 13, like blood sacrifice, Kardashian blood sacrifice, in the number 13. Watch that video because it takes you through a very brief history. It's about an hour and a half long, and explains to you who was rewarded for this death and who did it. So it lets you know who did the killings and why they did it and who got rewarded for it. Watch that video first. It's called Blood Sacrifice number 13. The second video I want you to watch is a video called Dave Chappelle, Russell Westbrook, Russell Wilson, and who else? Cat Williams marked for death. So I break down, like they tell you, they've all been marked. Like David Chappelle is going to get murdered in, I forgot the dates, but if you look at the video, I go through how they're going to, when they're going to die, because they use numbers in this simulation that we're in to choose people to kill. And what's that? Number 6, 31, 31, 62. Dig it. They choose people, and when it's time for them to die, they mark them with the number 62 in multiple ways. And I break those things down for you. And another video I want you to watch is called David Christ. Was it one of the Exorcists? Is it David Chappelle and the Antichrist?
Yeah.
There's another video called David Chappelle and the Antichrist. In this particular video, I break down who the Antichrist is and when the Antichrist was born and X, Y's, and Z's. I do a breakdown of the movie The Exorcist. If anyone ever seen The Exorcist, if you're terrified of that movie and that movie has scared you, or you know people who are scared of that movie, the movie is a misdirection. And I break down that The Exorcist has nothing to do with a demon. It never had anything to do with a demon. You watch the first 20 minutes of The Exorcist, and you're going to find that nothing demonic was taking place. Nothing was going on demonic. You're going to find that the little girl got sick in her doctor's office, The Exorcist is talking about autism, or what they're calling autism. You're gonna watch it again with a new set of eyes and understand there was never a damn demon. The girl got sick after she went to her doctor and got her jabby jab. Watch it for yourself. So I can't say this on this platform because of the censorship. And I want you to understand that in 30 years, when we're older and we're talking to our children or grandchildren, we're going to have to explain to them, yeah, you know, during the time where they told the entire world that they had to receive shots or they were going to die, we weren't allowed to say the word on a platform. And they're going to look at us like, are you crazy? Like, the thing that makes me the sickest about humanity, I'm going to get a little angry for a second.
No, I just want to make sure you just watch what you say.
I'm going to say it nicely. What makes me sickest about humanity is the cowardice. I despise cowards. I despise them.
Me too.
If everybody on the planet is told that they have to do something and told that you can't say this, that's the fucking culprit. If they're telling you that you can't say this word, then that's the fucking guilty party, man. Like, if all the things you can say, nigga, 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 cunt, dick, pussy, you can say all these words, but you can't say what they're forcing you to do. Well, if they're forcing you to do something that you have to do, but you can't say it, but you can say nigga all day, there's your culprit. If you're not allowed to say something and you'll get in trouble for saying something that the whole world has to do, the whole world had to do this. This was mandated. They forced people, some people physically held them down to do something. Well, guess what? That's the culprit.
Absolutely. Like,
so for people to not say, okay, oh, start thinking. If you're not allowed to say what's going on, then that is your culprit.
Exactly. It goes right back to the burning books. It goes right back to that. You know, like, it's against the law to burn books, and there's no threshold in regards to like what books can't be burned, like nonfiction or fiction. Like, we can read all the nonfiction books we want to read, but you are not supposed to be able to burn it. But yet they can tell you, you can't look at that, you can't listen to that. What's that about? I don't know what the fuck that is. Listen, I've been here for more than a year now, and I'm scared to even go outside and see what it is. Santana's convinced it's an insect, but I'm like, nah, that's too big to be insects. I'm gonna tell you what I think it is. I think that it's some Mexicans outside with the little honker, with the rubber honker. Wonka, 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 wonka. I really think that that's people.
Well, listen, we've seen enough horror movies in our life to realize that if something's gonna jump off, people who look like us get killed first.
Intimidation tactics. So, because they get louder when we start really, really like letting y'all know what's going on. They get real loud. It gets intense.
During Jurassic Park, Samuel Jackson got killed during the credits. During Scream, Jada Pinkett got killed during the credits. In the theater before they even showed the title of the movie. So listen, as long as it stays out there, hey, you do what you want to do.
I just let it be. We just let it be whatever the hell that is. But I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Hey, listen, whatever it is, we don't want no parts of it.
No.
And we have respect.
We got respect. Yeah, that's right. We respect it. It's like, you know what?
We got enough problems in our life to be having whatever that is out there. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to deal with that, whatever that is. We're going to deal with what we know. We don't know what that is. It ain't bothered us yet. So until it comes inside, we
got a mutual respect. You know,
I don't know. No, they ain't respect us, but
no, they only come out at nighttime. This don't go on during the daytime. It only goes on. We thought we had another hypothesis. We thought that it was when it rained, but it ain't rain. And there you have it. But y'all know it sound like that. You
like
sound like a
Predator.
damn horn.
It sounds like Predator. That's the background. It sounds like Predator.
Predator, it's a little Predator mixed up in there too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, censorship is real. That's why I labeled this video censorship is real. It is real. You know, the fact that it's a duck. You think it's a duck? I don't see no ducks around here though. There's no ducks.
Yeah, we be able to see.
There's no duck. There's goats, it's horses, it's chickens,
And we be able to see.
all those kind of things, but I don't know what that is. I don't see ducks.
Yeah, we be able to see.
Anybody else got any guesses? Because I don't know. What's up, OG Jamal? What's good? You think it's frogs? You think it's frogs? Maybe it's frogs because we do have a lot of frogs. It is a lot of frogs though around here. So maybe it's frogs.
Not frogs. We be able to see them.
I don't know. I don't know. But you know, those are bullfrogs. They're not bullfrogs because that's not the kind of frogs that I see. I see kind of like toad-like kind of frogs, but it's not the toads like from the States with all the bumps on it and stuff. They're smooth. The skin is smooth, but they change colors, of course, like wherever they are. But they have like spots on them, but it's smooth. So I'm not sure. Let's see. Everybody's into the. Let's see. The frogs here, Louisiana, are sounding like them. Okay, listen. I'm willing to go with it might be frogs because we do have a lot of frogs around here. They can be in the walls and cracks. No, this is right outside. This is right outside. You see, that's my outside. So no, you just hear. This ain't soundproof glass, clearly. But we weren't yeah, everybody's saying it's definitely frogs. No, listen, that makes me feel better. Yeah, thank you, because I have been asking what the hell is that for a very, very long time. And the little frogs that we have that kind of like are around our house, you know, they don't say much. They just are adorable and cute, just hanging around. They make those sounds at night. Okay, listen, thank you, because you have solved a mystery for us, because we didn't know what the hell that was. But yeah, so I'm willing to go with his frogs. I'll go with that.
Help us sleep a little better.
Yeah. But we were going to make this short. We weren't trying to make this too long. We just kind of wanted to let you guys know that the censorship is real.
We're not ignoring you.
We're not ignoring you. We're not dismissing your thoughts. We're just not seeing it. We're just getting to so many. Like in my studio, I'll show you guys. I have so many comments in my studio. Like, so many. So many. But if I go to the videos, they're not there. I mean, it goes on, but they don't show up publicly. So email us. Our email is in our about section on our page. If you have any questions or anything like that, and we respond. But yeah, the censorship is real. They are definitely haters. They're haters.
They're cowards. They're stupid.
Yeah, and they're definitely cowards.
And they know that most people are cowards. So it's like, well, we're not going to do anything about it. And Tucker Carlson being removed, like I said, he was the only person that was really trying to mention what's going on. You know, no one. You understand that 51 of our intelligence agents all lied and said that the Hunter Biden laptop was disinformation, and said it was Russian disinformation, despite the fact that they had the laptop in their possession, and nobody's mentioning any of these things.
Right.
So
your government's corrupt, and they're trying to tell you what to do, and they're trying to tell you what to think.
Listen, I would advise you, if you have the ability to leave, to leave. If you have any money, if you have like some real money, get as much gold and silver as you can. A ratio of 70% gold, 30% silver. If you can't afford gold, get as much silver as you can, because this is a purposefully done thing to crash the economy. They need to crash the economy because they need you to have a civil war. They're destroying your food. We're going to put up another link in the chat to show you how many food processing plants have been destroyed that the media has not bothered to even mention.
We actually put it in the description
And we'll
in
put in, we'll
the
put another,
other
and we'll put in the
video.
description of this as well, so you can see that they're poisoning your food, they're poisoning your air, they're poisoning your water. Um, Literally, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, that they're now starting to vaccinate the animals. So even if you don't get vaccinated, they're vaccinating the food supply.
Yeah.
And they're even talking about vaccinating some of the plants, some of the vegetables that you're going to get. They're vaccinating the vegetables.
What's good, Big Dog?
So I want you to also understand that I did a breakdown on this with a particular picture. It's on Rumble. It's called "It's Always Been the Doctors."
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say this: you hear me speaking very harshly about doctors, and let me just say that it's not all of the doctors.
No.
You know, the pediatricians. It is all of the pediatricians, but it's not all the doctors. Not all of them with it. Like when this whole thing started, when they shut the world down because all of us was going to die and we all had to go out and get the jabby jab, 600 doctors came together and wrote a letter and said, hey, this isn't right. This is wrong. And the things you're telling us to do don't make any sense. But you didn't get to hear that. Mm-mm. But 600 doctors got together collectively and wrote a very in-depth letter. So, as much as I despise these doctors that went along with this, that I despise in a way that you can't imagine, I would ask that when all this goes crazy, judge each person individually and accordingly.
Yes.
Give everybody a shot. Give everybody a shot, and not look at their sexuality, their religion, their skin color, or even their political denomination. Because everyone deserves to be judged individually. So let me just be very clear. I despise the doctors who were fully aware and went along with this. But there are some really, really good doctors out there that
really want to do the right thing.
There are some. And they get punished for telling the truth.
Somebody think in G caps. The term predator is predator. Alien is proper. Alien is property. That's Jordan Maxwell talk.
Well, I mean,
alien versus predator. Yes, I'm smiling and laughing at the situational comedy. I'm loving the eureka moments of the Exorcist moments.
Yeah, the Exorcist, man, listen, just really quick, the Exorcist was about it's so funny that they had the Catholic priests coming to the house, because the Exorcist was actually about a child molestation. The whole thing was about a little girl who was sexually assaulted
and autism.
Well, I told him that's what the illness was.
Yeah.
And you find that they gave the child a particular shot that starts with a V and ends with an E that they tried to give the whole world. And they was hoping, so basically, because the priests got their hands caught in the cookie jar of touching this little girl, it's not an accident that they had a Catholic priest in there trying to deal with the little girl. They gave it a shot because then, you know, these children who get these shots start acting differently. You know, some people call it ADHD, some people call it autism, some people even go as far as mental retardation.
It's a spectrum.
You know, they call it the spectrum and all that bullshit. But they gave her this knowing that she was going to be acting differently, because if she exposed the fact that she was being molested, they get to say, she's not believable. Don't believe her. She's been acting out. But this, that little girl was being sexually molested, and it was right in front of everybody, but no one saw it. And one more thing I want to mention. In the city of Baltimore, in particular the state of Maryland, the Catholic Archdiocese have finally been outed for the molestation that's been taking place for over 80 years. And 600 priests have been identified in the molestations of little boys and little girls. But
Over 80
over
years.
But the the system is so corrupt in the state of Maryland that while they were exposing all the abuse over the 80 years of the Catholic Church, and also the oldest Catholic archdiocese in America is in Baltimore. I didn't even know that. We lived
Yeah,
there,
we
didn't
just
know
found that out. Yeah.
So let me tell you how corrupt this system is. And Maryland and Baltimore, they have private. Everybody thinks that the city and the state they live in is the most corrupt. Isn't it weird that everybody thinks that their police and so forth and their officials
But
are the most corrupt?
Maryland is demonic because it's right there by DC. It's in that area.
But people from New York think the New York police. People from California think the LAPD.
Yeah, but I'm saying we right there with DC though, like where all the demons live. We're like,
actually, the worst is Boston. Boston has got the
well,
most.
because of the institutions.
Yeah, Boston is the
okay,
most
so
demonic.
Boston and like the DMV areas, they're
They've got the
probably
most
the most demonic places ever.
Yeah, secretly on the down low, Boston is terrible. California, we know California is where the Los Angeles are, so we know that's about to burn anyway. But let me tell you how corrupt the system is in Maryland and in Baltimore. Baltimore City and Maryland, of course. They are exposing all the dirt of the Catholic Church, and they want to talk badly about the Catholic Church, about how terrible they are. This has been going on for 80 years, and no one wants to acknowledge it. What you need to understand is this. These people have been complaining for years, and the media has been hiding that as well. This media has been dirt and trash.
We did a video about that too.
They've been the worst. And in the report, it's like a 400-page report about all the sexual misconduct and deeds. Let me tell you how ridiculous it is. They put all the information
Wow,
out.
really? The first slave that was sold was in Maryland. I'm not surprised.
Makes sense. They did the report for the pedophile priest and had a nerve to redact their fucking names. So how are you going to expose the priests and their deeds, but redact their fucking names, man? They so dirty. It's like, I cannot wait. Here's the thing. The people who are going along with this whole thing that's going on, that's making all of our lives a living hell. I know we're dealing with some things, but all y'all out there, everybody's dealing with something. And what's being put upon humanity, especially in America right now, is undescribable. The people who went along with this have no mercy on them. None. Because they set out to destroy us and kill you and your babies. And they're still going along with this shit. And the problem is they're such filthy, disgusting, despicable human beings that they know that they're trash. The Ben Crumps of the world, the Neville Andersons of the world, the Mark Fullers of the world, the Barry Sims of the world. They know they ugly ass, bitch ass gorillas. And nothing would ever come near them. And the only reason why they want this to stay this way, because if they had to be decent or they had to be on your level, they couldn't compete with a decent human being. So they go along with this to destroy everything. So just remember them when all this comes to a head. Because Nuremberg is coming.
On its way.
Nuremberg is definitely coming. So, go ahead.
Let's see here. Evidently, that promotes the activity within their communities. Absolutely, because they are very, very violent areas.
Yeah, well, listen.
Hence the demonic energy that's there. Let's see here. OG Jamel, I live in Boston. Oh, you live in Boston. A very satanic place. You got Boston. Salem and all that stuff there.
As a matter of fact, you got Salem and Newport.
Let's see
name
here.
Cigarette. Listen, Salem and Newport, what's that?
Right. That's the black people's choice.
It's cigarettes and
Salem and Newport.
It's smoking death.
Yeah. The foreigners are scared of the aliens. Let's see. Let's go Boston. You love Boston right there. You representing your city, huh?
When you look at Boston's history, Boston's history. Man, even going back to the Salem witch
Ooh,
trials.
we did a video about the
Yeah, we did
Salem
Salem
witch
witch
trials.
trials.
That was blood sacrifice, y'all.
Yeah, and also y'all gonna find out a great deal about slavery and find out that Boston is where it started.
Yeah, the Virginia
Like,
Act happened
yeah,
13
like,
years after that.
yeah, Boston is like, people got it wrong. You know how you get certain trends where you like gangster rap started in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and then when it got to the East Coast, was kind of like perfect example. You know how like everybody in the hood knew about Jay-Z, and then once Jay-Z became mainstream, they put him all over America. People then the mainstream audience knew who he was, but everybody from years back, 10 years prior, knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought he was new. Well, with slavery didn't start in the South. Slavery started in the North, and the North had abolished it first. And what we saw was the remnants of slavery. We saw the remnants, and the remnants remained in the South, but it started in the North. It's like it started there and ended first.
Everything's inverted.
Yeah, everything's inverted, and we know we've been lied to about slavery too. Everything we learned was a lie, and they're still perpetuating these things, and they're still lying, and it's still causing divisiveness, and events about to take place. Good news and bad news. An event's going to take place, and things going to get real bad. Real bad. However, we come out, and I don't mean just us in particular, I mean we, humanity, we come out on the better side of it. I don't know your circumstances and situations. All of us are living through impossible times that we couldn't even imagine 5 years ago. But if I can give you any advice, and if I'm gonna give you a little bit of advice, we've been learning some different things about how this simulation works and the numerical system that they're using and how they choose to do certain things. And we have to act accordingly, and doing so has saved our lives on a couple different occasions. You have to tell the truth. As hard as it may sound, you have to tell the truth. And you have to do the natural right thing. You understand? Like, you know how all the big schools and science is telling you to ignore, like you read books now and articles now telling you to ignore your premonition. Listen to your premonition. You know, the scientists are now telling you, and got books and articles telling you, that fear is an outdated emotion and it just holds you back. It's something, a remnant of our primitive brain before evolution, when we had to worry about 20-foot roaches. No, you have to listen to that voice in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're scared, you have to listen to that voice. And I don't mean the voice that's trying to get you to do shit that you don't want to do. I mean the voice of truth, the voice in your head that's telling you, hey, you know that's fucked up, or you know you shouldn't do that. The things that you're going along with. Listen to that voice and you will get through it. But you got to trust yourself. The biggest trick that the devil ever played, they said the biggest trick that the devil ever played was convincing the world he doesn't exist. That is not correct. The biggest trick that's been ever played in humanity is they told people that God is some outside force outside of you and who you are. I promise you, and this isn't even a religious thing, we are God. And I don't mean this character that they lied about in this depiction of the Bible. I mean that the artists have been trying to tell you that God lies in our brain, each of us individually, and not
and
anything
even the
outside.
Bible tells you it's in his image.
It's literally, but it's in our brain. That voice that you hear, that voice the voice right now, whoever's listening to me, there's a voice in your head that's processing this, telling you, oh, this dude is crazy, or this woman is crazy, or he needs a haircut. That voice, that is your voice. Listen to that voice no matter how crazy it sounds. I promise you, it saved my life. I mean, literally, I was being
It was
chased.
God before money.
Right.
Well, listen,
But
in
so,
China,
but
they have a money god.
they prayed, but the church, church convinced you that you
You
need
had to
to
look
go to
outside of
outside
yourself.
of yourself and go
Yeah.
to a pastor or a priest or a preacher because
Yeah,
they
that's
talk
the
to God.
institution.
That was the lie.
Yeah.
You are already hearing God. That thing, and I'm not saying this character they're telling you about that's omnipotent and ubiquitous. I'm not talking about that. It's the presence that exists inside of each of us. You got to ask yourself. I mean, we were kids. I know you had to ask yourself, where is that voice coming from, and who is it talking to me? Who in that voice and where is it coming from? I did a couple videos on it, but you have to listen to that voice. Listen, there was a murder attempt made on me in Mexico, and I knew I was about to die. It was to the point that I just started laughing because I'm like, oh shit, this is it. I was chased by more than 10 Humvees with machine guns on the back. I called Ariel and said, hey, get the nanny, get the kids, get out of the house and go to a hotel, knowing full well this is it. So I just accepted death. And that little voice said, turn right now. And I turned right and turned into a dead-end motel lobby. And I was like, oh shit, why'd you tell me to do that? You know, I'm sitting here questioning myself. Literally, I turned into a hotel entrance and was a dead end. And I'm like, well, damn, this is much easier to kill me. But I'm like, well, shit, well, they kill me here, it doesn't matter. Where I die, it doesn't matter. And I turned in, and I was like, man, it's a dead end. Fitting, it's a dead end, it's perfect. And I then turned around and turned out and got back on the highway before the Humvees got to me. And I was able to drive a half a mile down the street and then make a U-turn to get back to the other side of the street to get back to my house. Once I made my U-turn and passed the hotel entrance that I turned into, there were like 15 Humvees in the entrance of that damn hotel. So what I didn't know was I turned in at the right moment, the exact right moment that all of the trucks, all of the Humvees turned into that motel. And when I turned out, I was blocked by something that they didn't see me turn out. So when I was able to get to the street and make a U-turn, I looked over and the whole parking lot was full of Humvees with machine guns on them. And I just looked at them. And I'm like, oh shit, that was for me. Shit. But
He listened to his
if
voice.
I did not listen to that voice, we would not be having that conversation.
And I just
Because
want to
it was
say,
random and it was like, turn here, but you have to listen to that voice. And I don't care if your mother, your husband, your brother, your child tell you to do something different. That voice knows
it matters.
everything.
It
knows
does, because it's
everything.
already done this whole thing.
It knows
And
everything.
just think about it. God is G-O-D, and spelled backwards is dog. And why do people like dogs more than cats? Because dogs are obedient. So be obedient to yourself.
That's brilliant, actually.
So,
but I like cats more than dogs. I used to be called cat.
But people typically like dogs
It's
more
true.
because they're
It's true.
obedient.
No, and people don't like cats.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
be obedient to yourself. And
listen to
Yeah.
that voice. And I don't mean listen to it for
Yeah.
self-serving thing, like trying to convince yourself and talking to yourself as to why you should eat that extra hoagie or why you should go and drink this extra fifth of liquor. I'm talking about that voice that talks to you, that says, you know that's not right, or you better not go there, or it's dangerous in there.
Yep.
That voice. And I can promise you, just from experience, that whenever I didn't listen to that voice,
You paid for that
I
joint.
paid for it
Mhm.
drastically. I paid for it, and it wasn't cheap. The worst things that ever happened to me,
Yeah,
the
me
worst
too.
things that ever happened to me that
Yeah.
I'm still living with, is because that voice said to do something and I didn't listen.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know, these preachers, priests, and pastors, I'm not trying to offend you, but they all work for the devil. They don't talk to God. You talk to God. God is talking to you. And you have to trust yourself. And
Be obedient.
and I'm not trying to say that there's some type of magical creature out there that's doing all these magical things. I'm saying that we have been blessed with something that lives internally inside of us,
Foresight.
that talks to us. And that's what I refer to as God. And I'm not the only person who has an inner narrator.
No, we all have it.
that.
Yeah, we all
You
have it.
to
Yeah.
listen to it, no matter how crazy it sounds. No matter how crazy it sounds. Think about it. They talk about how God judges you. Well, think about it. When you do something wrong, is it what somebody else says about you, or do you judge yourself when you know you've done something wrong? You judge yourself worse than anybody else can judge you when you've done something wrong. You know it. When you've done something that you feel ashamed of, you tear yourself down because you're judging you. It's you. So
be your own best pet.
Listen to that voice, no matter how. Listen, when I was driving, it's no, I'm about to die. The last thing I wanted to do, the first instinct is to press on my gas as fast as I can and to get the hell away from these Humvees. That was the first instinct. But the thing said, turn right now. And I turned, it's like, it's a dead end. And I'm here talking right now because that split second where the voice talked to me, and we've all experienced similar things where we get messages. You need to listen and obey that where that thing is coming from. I did videos explaining exactly where it comes from. You can find them on the Rumble page to go into it. Again, it's Can You Dig It 1111. But listen to that voice, especially now. Now is the most important time in your life that is important for you to listen to that voice. If you want to get through this, and some of you may not want to get through this, I get it. If you just want to just lay down and die, I understand it. If you want to get through this, you have to listen to that voice. That voice will never, ever lead you astray, I promise you. I'm going to tell one more story before I leave. As a young man, Santana had a whole bunch of jobs and careers. At this one particular time, I used to be a comedian when I was in my 20s. I was 24 years old and I was a stand-up comedian. Wasn't very funny though. How do I know? The crowd. And just like then, just like now, I thought my shit was hilarious. So what made it worse was I would be dying laughing on stage at my own jokes, and people sitting around like, this is terrible, and I'm dying laughing because I thought it was hilarious. This one particular time, I was working at MCI as a telemarketer, and I got fired on my day off. And the guy who fired me name was Stevie Johnson. And Stevie Johnson, how you doing, brother? So he fired me my day off, and I didn't care because it was only my part-time job. I was an accountant. I was doing account services for a luggage company, and worked at MCI telemarketing because the pay weeks coincided. So I would get a regular paycheck from my accountant job, and I would get a part-time, a little paycheck in the middle of the week from my part-time gig. So this way I had income coming in every week, and I was doing stand-up comedy. So because it was my part-time job, I wouldn't even show up to MCI sometime because who gives a shit? And plus I hated it. So I went to work one Friday. I didn't show up for work the entire week, but then I showed up on Friday to get my paycheck. So the dude, Stevie Johnson, gave me the runaround and kept telling me just to wait. I ended up waiting for like 5 hours to get my paycheck. So he fires me. which was funny. So then, swear to God, this is a true story. Maybe 3 days later, I'm doing a show in a place called the Comedy Connection in Laurel. I believe it's now called Jokes on Us. And who shows up to my show? Stevie Johnson. So he shows up to my show, and I tell all the comedians backstage, hey, get that nigga. I don't say nigga anymore, but back then, I said, get that nigga. That nigga fired me on my day off. So I told all the comedians when they come out to absolutely roast his ass when it was time to do their set. So I was the host in the opening act because I wasn't funny. So they figured they put me. Oh, but I was a great dancer. So they used to let me come in because I would hype the show up because I would dance all around the auditorium, and I would jump on tables and just I was kind of like a hype man, and I would bring all the ladies in back in the day. So I get on stage and I see Stevie Johnson, and he don't see me, but I already saw him. And then he looks up, and Stevie Johnson's there with one of his co-workers and these two women, very attractive women, by the way. And I said, hey, Stevie Johnson, how you doing? Mr. Stevie Johnson. So I was about to go in on his ass. You hear me? I was going to mash him. So I said, Stevie Johnson for MCI, Monsters and Creatures Institute, MCI. And then the voice said, don't do it. So then I paused for like 5 seconds because I was like, why? And that's all the voice said. So it fucked up my timing. I had wrote jokes for the nigga. I was just going to go in on him. But the voice said, don't do it. So it messed my timing up. And y'all know with comedy, timing is everything. And then I had to come up with a new set on the spot because he was my material for the night. And he was going to be everybody else's material that night. So I said, I didn't do it. So I ended up bombing that night because it was, I couldn't do my material. So I got off stage and I went to the back and told the other comedians, hey, don't say nothing to him. He's all good. Don't worry about it. We good. We talk. Don't embarrass him. So then time goes past and 10 years go past and I asked that voice, why you ain't let me get, like I would periodically think about Stevie Johnson and like, man, why didn't you let me get him? Because I'm petty. I'm petty. You do something to me. Oh, listen, you do something to me. If I don't care how long it takes, you're gonna get that back. I swear to God, you're gonna get it back. So periodically, it's spicy. I would think about, I wonder why. So then, I got the contract to do the Maryland prison system to do the optometry and eyeglasses for the Maryland prison system in 2007. Problem is, I was broke. I was out of money because I was setting up, trying to prepare for this contract, and I didn't have any money, and the contract wouldn't start for like 6 months. So I needed a job. So I had to go and do an interview at Verizon, because it was a decent salary, it would take care of my mortgage, and it had health benefits. So it was like, okay, great. I need something to hold me over. You know, I really need this job. So I go to interview for the job, and who is there doing my damn interview? Stevie Johnson. And you know what he says to me? He says, you look familiar. Have we ever met? I was like, nope. Nope. I said, I get that a lot. People say I look like a lot of people. You know what I mean? I swear to God, it was Stevie Johnson. And he didn't remember who I was. And then I realized, okay, thank you. It was 11 years later that I understood what the voice meant. It took 11 years, but I listened to that voice. And I really, really, really needed that job. I needed that job. I needed that job to float me over so I can start doing what I'm meant to do. But I listened to that voice, and I listened to that voice and didn't roast Stevie Johnson. And just for 11 years later, for me to come into an interview and hear Stevie Johnson doing the interview, had I roasted him that night, I can assure you I would have not have gotten that job. I promise you I wouldn't got that job because he would have remembered me. But because I didn't, he didn't remember me. I got the job, and I rolled that job out until my prison contract started. So even if it doesn't make sense at the time, listen to that voice every time. Listen to that voice. That voice knows everything. That voice knows everything. It's done it. We've done all this before. Listen to that voice. And before I gave my resignation to Verizon, I sat down with Stevie Johnson, and I said, "Hey, Stevie, do you remember me?" He was like, "Your name's familiar." I said, "I'm Santana." I said, "You fired me on my day off when I used to work at MCI." And he said, "Oh man, Santana, I am so sorry. I was an asshole back then." I said, "Don't worry about it." He says, "But I don't even remember." I said, "Don't worry about it." I said, "You remember going to the comedy club?" Santana! I was like, "Yeah, that was me." So instead of torching this dude and making an enemy and embarrassing him, I listened to that voice, and then I got me a $5 million contract. You understand? And I wouldn't have been able to pull that off and pay for the things I needed for my $5 million contract if Verizon hadn't filled in that gap. And if I didn't listen to that voice, I'd have been sitting around trying to figure some shit out. So that's a little bit about me. I probably said too much. But that's only to say that voice never, ever lies. You trust that voice with your life because it will save your life. No matter how crazy the circumstances are, and I can attest to it, I swear to God, them Humvees was on me. And that voice said, "Make a right turn." And I made that right turn. And I'm like, what the, I'm sitting back, angry, yelling at the voice. And the voice, I'm sitting here, listen, there's no way I can outrun these folks. The voice, that's right. There's no way I was going to make this up. I don't have any guns. I don't know this area. I don't even speak the language. And they got Humvees and machine guns. So there was no getting out of that for me. If I would have tried to outrun them, there was no getting out of that for me. And I just drove cool. So that's my spiel. Babe, is there anything else you want to look at these questions really quick?
I don't think that there's any questions.
You don't know that. I thought there's a couple. So with that, I'm going to check and see if there was any more questions that we can answer.
Nope.
More questions?
Nope.
Well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope we've entertained you a little bit this evening. I hope you've learned a little something new. Listen, all things shall pass. Everything. And that's good things. All good things going to pass. And all bad things are going to pass. If things aren't going great in your life right now, all things shall pass. Only thing that's constant is change. But if you have a desire to live in this new reality that's coming, be warned that it's going to get bad. But if you want to be a part of it, and it's going to be glorious, when in doubt, listen to that thing in your ear that you don't know where it's coming from. That's your God. Can you dig it?